Just how I thought. While Starlight glimmers his calm and Wonder Hearts down, Funshine and Harmony were awake. Harmony says, "What happened?" And just like that, when Harmony says, "What happened?" And then Funshine asks, "Yeah, what's all this noise?" And then Starlight Glimmer asks, "The cats were attacking Wonder Hearts." And then Harmony asks, "Really? Attacking her?" And then Harmony asks, "This is bad." And then Sheard asks, "I know." And then Harmony asks, "There's another cat in the house, and that one's a small one." And then Sheard asks, "Wait, I think the small one's trying to tell us something." And then Sheard asks, "I'll follow her." And then Sheard asks, "What is it, little one? What is it?" And then Sheard asks, "What is it?" And then Shigwa was trying to tell them something, so Shigwa needs Sheard to follow her into Wonder Heart's room. And then Shigwa shows him the dead rat. Sheard says, "What is it? What? You guys, over here." Then Harmony asks, "What is it?" And she asks, "Ah! Oh, rat." And then Starlight asks, "Wait, you guys, I thought the cats were attacking Wonder Hearts. It turned out they were just protecting her from the rat." And then Sangwa asks, "Rat, I know that." Well, that is nice how Dongwa protect her from the ferocious rat. And then Sangwa asks, "And now he has been kidnapped." And then Sangwa asks, "I gotta help him." And just like that, when Sagwa says, "I gotta help him," then Sagwa asks, "Don't worry, Dongwa, I'll help you. I just had to run really fast." And then Starlight asks, "Sangwa, where are you going?" Then Starlight asks, "Sangwa." Or, on my April dream, Penny says, "Sorry, Delilah, I gotta go." Well, it was nice having fun with you. And then Delilah asks, "Yeah, it was having fun hanging out with you, but I'm ready to go home." Then Penny asks, "Yeah, and I'm ready to go back inside." And then Penny was about to get inside. And then Penny hears the rat squeaking. Penny says, "Wait, what's that squeaking sound?" And then Penny hears the rat. Then the rat shows up. But this time, the rat was climbing on top of an open window to the parents' room where Metal Claus is sleeping. And then Penny shouts at the rat, and the rat hissed at her and climbs into the parents' room. Penny says, "Oh no, I gotta save her." And just like that, when Penny says, "Oh no, I gotta save her," then Penny raced upstairs. But it turned out Penny was tracking rainwater everywhere. Penny says, "Oh great, now I'm tracking rainwater everywhere." Then they locked Penny in the garage. And then Penny says, "Well, at least I got the rainwater off." And then Penny asks, "Oh great, now I'm stuck in the garage and I can't get out. And the cat door is locked." And then Penny asks, I only wish if I could get help. And then Penny asks, someone that has triangle ears. And then Penny asks, I know, Delilah can help. Delilah is a cat and she'll get the rat. And then Penny asks, I need to shout for her. Then Penny asks, Delilah, 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 Delilah. And then Delilah asks, Penny, and then Penny asks, Delilah, and then Penny asks, great, you came back. And then Delilah asks, Penny, are you okay? What's wrong? And then Penny asks, there's a rat in the Paris room, and the rat wants to hurt Meadow Claus, and I can't get out. And then Delilah asks, don't worry, I'll get him for you. And then Penny asks, you will, but be careful, the cat catcher's in there. And then Delilah asks, don't worry, I'll be fine, I'll be quick. And then Penny asks, hurry. And then Delilah enters the house. Penny says, she already entered the house. And then Delilah has to be careful not to get seen by the cat catcher. But luckily the cat catcher was chatting with me and Speedy. And then Delilah raced upstairs and she enters the dark room. Delilah sniffs, 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 sniffs. She sniffs for the rat, and Delilah did not see the rat, and the rat did not see Delilah because the rat was under the crib, and the rat went past Delilah. And then meanwhile Penny says, what's going on up there? And then the cat catcher says, well, I've been capturing that cat, but I accidentally captured that panda instead. That cat's purple, and she has a necklace, and she has sharp teeth. But luckily it's just one sharp teeth, because that cat is dangerous and dirty. Then meanwhile Delilah sniffs, 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 sniff for the rat. Delilah says, where is that dangerous little creature? While Delilah's looking for that dangerous little creature, Delilah hears the rat squeaking. Then she asks, uh-oh. And then, ouch! The rat pounced on Delilah and scratched her right in the face. Delilah says, And then Delilah says, ow! Get off me! And then Delilah got the rat off her face. They engaged a fight. Delilah began to chase the rat around the room, making a mess and knocking over furniture, knocking over chairs and lamps. While during the fight, Delilah says, aha! I got you! What? Huh? And then the rat jumps over Delilah, right over her head. And while during the fight, Delilah almost got herself stuck. And while Delilah is sniffing for the rat again, she hears the rat squeaking. And during the fight, the rat climbs on top of the crib, who wants to hurt Meadow Claus. And before the rat was about to jump, Delilah says, no! Get away from her! And Delilah was about to get the rat, but missed, accidentally knocking the crib over. Delilah says, no! Then Delilah says, ugh! And then the cat catcher says, well. And then, meanwhile, Delilah says, ow, my paw, my face. And that's what happens, knocking the crib over and waking up Meadow Claus and cause her to be scared. Delilah says, oh, you're okay. And then Delilah continues attacking the rat. And then I said, wait, is that Meadow Claus? And Delilah manages to corner the rat under the falling curtains and kills it. Well, Delilah's paw was a little scratched after the rat bit her ankle. Delilah says, hey. And then me and Speedy both rushes in the room. We did not see the dead rat, just Delilah and the overturned crib. But instead of thinking Delilah, we thought she was attacking Meadow Claus. And then I had to calm Meadow Claus down, and the cat catcher captured Delilah. And then I let Penny Link free. And then Penny Link was trying to tell us something, so Penny Link rushes in the room. She opens the curtains, and she did not notice. And then Penny Link shows him the dead rat. And then I said, ah, a rat! And then I asked, wait, I thought they were attacking Meadow Claus. It turned out she was just protecting her from the rat. And then Penny asked, yeah, I was locked in the garage, and then I shouted for Delilah's name, and then Delilah heard me shouting, and then she rushes upstairs